How y'all doing? Clemson Craig with you on a fine fall Saturday morning. It's a great morning to be a Clemson Tiger. I'm telling you what, we got a game today at high noon. We're looking forward to this one. Two undefeated teams, two powerhouses really gonna be going at it. Shoot, I'm over here at Carolina Crackpipe's house. He had me to come over and house sit this morning and everything. He had to work. So he'd be watching that game today. He'd be watching the Clemson game at some point, and then they're going to, I guess, be live streaming y'all's game tonight. I'm here and trying to deal with this mutt right here. I don't know what to make of this thing. He don't want to half listen. Ain't like my dogs. My dogs are intelligent. This thing right here, not so much. But anyway, talking about things that's not intelligent, we're going to talk about Coots for a little bit. God almighty. So Coots, he asked me, he said, look, Craig, said I made a video last night talking about the Clemson game today against the spread, and I'd like for you to do the same and oblige me and talk about the against the spread thing for the Gamecocks. I said, all right, I'll do it. I don't usually much like talking about the Coots because they're irrelevant, and I like to focus on relevant things. But I will do what he asked because he did pay me a little bit to come over here and do this. And I drove all the way up from Anderson, and he gave me some gas money for that too, to put in my truck. Coots. Tell me, what is wrong? Look at this picture. Coots, what is wrong with y'all's coach, man? Seriously, what is wrong with him? I'm not being ugly and I'm not joking. There's something not right with that guy. He's got it's like some kind of neurological thing, I think. Every time you see him do an interview, he's making like he's trying to do some kind of gymnastics with his face or something. I don't know. He seems to get caught in some awful predicaments. The worst predicament that he's gotten caught in is being coach of your sorry-ass team. But, no, Coots, I was looking at something, too, last night. It come up on Twitter and everything. And y'all got Texas A&M tonight, okay? Texas A&M is a team that knows a little bit about winning, something y'all don't know nothing about. A team that knows something about how Texas A&M is way more relevant, talked about, studied, kind of mesmerized over, even if people's making fun of them or giving them praise in the Southeastern Conference than y'all are, and y'all done been in it, 20-something more years than they have? Man, that's embarrassing. But you talking about traditions, and they done this was last night on the State House steps of the state of South Carolina, down there in Columbia. Oh, watch it.
After our wrecking crew defense gets through with those sorry South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, this matchup can only be called rivalry. We've been playing.
My God. Is that disrespectful? Answer me that. Is that disrespectful? No, it ain't disrespectful. First of all, this is the state of South Carolina, all right? Just because the state capital is in Columbia don't mean that y'all own no kind of rights to the state capital. In fact, if the state itself had its choice, it would probably move itself to Pickens County so it could be close to Clemson. Because Clemson, this is our state. We run the state. Y'all just wear the name on your jersey. But they got out here and they make fun of y'all and everything. That's that Texas A&M yell practice. Well, look, that's tradition, okay? That's a tradition. They've been doing that for over 100 years. They've been doing that for over 100 years. You know when Barry Bryant was there and like that Junction Boys stuff took place that movie was about. You remember that movie? They was doing that stuff back in. They was doing it back in too. Just didn't nobody talk about it. It got publicized. And then, it's tradition. So let them do what they're going to do, okay? You ought to be honored that somebody comes to Columbia and shows y'all something about tradition. Because y'all ain't got no, I mean, you don't have no tradition. What kind of tradition do y'all have? Waving a white towel before the game and bumping up and down, dancing to some kind of bumpity-bump music that don't nobody even know what the hell it is anymore? Some old 2007 disco shit or something? That's y'all's tradition? Y'all's tradition? Sex in the parking lots and people catching it on there, putting it on social media. I mean, you know, I mean, and it wasn't even good sex. It looked like it wasn't nobody even enjoying it, as they was all drunk and everything. People don't do stuff like that at Clemson. They probably don't do stuff like that at Texas A&M. There's only trashy people does stuff like that, and the only trash I know of anywhere around these parts is in Columbia. Did you hear one of them yelled out there at the end something about, he said something about, is that what you said about App State? Like he's making fun of them because they lost to App State. Well, look here, Goober. Y'all got some experience with that, don't you? That's just like a coot. That's just like a coot to do something. A coot make fun of doing the same damn thing that you done. What you gonna do next? Make fun of them for losing to the Citadel? Make fun of something? Go to Furman and knock on their door and make fun of them for losing to the Citadel, which is the same exact thing that y'all do. But enough about me going on about traditions, and enough about me going on about how weird this Shane Beamer guy is. But the most weird thing about him is the fact that he decided to move here from Oklahoma. Who would do that? That's a beautiful place. This game, picking it against the spread. So Texas A&M is a 3-point favorite against the Coots. To me, this just seems silly in and of itself. I mean, these people from Las Vegas that set these lines, or whoever sets these lines, I don't really know how all that stuff works. Have they watched the series history here? Have they even paid attention to it? I mean, they beat y'all last year, 44-14? And they weren't even good. And the year before that, the COVID year, right? Well, they slipped up and did they win the SEC that year? Or no, they didn't win the SEC. They come close to it. They beat y'all like 48-3. So they done put 40-something on you the past 2 years. And the most you managed to put up was 14. But and they beat you by at least 30 points both times. But this year, you're gonna keep it within 3. All right, well, I get that. But I mean, what's the biggest difference in this year and last year between their team? They say, well, they ain't got no offense. Well, they didn't have no offense last year. They didn't have no offense last year. It didn't matter. I mean, they still pushed it in on the Coots because the Coots defense is shit. And the year before, yeah, their offense is a little better, but still, I mean, the Coots couldn't stop it. Coots can't stop anybody's offense. Coots can't stop anybody's offense. And they're basing all this off of, okay, well, the Coots is playing at home in Willie B. Well, so what? Does anybody remember the last thing that happened when the Coots played a Power 5 team in Willie B about a month ago? You played Georgia, and they drug their balls and testes across your face. It was 48-7, and could have been 88-7. But we got the home field advantage, Craig. We got the home field advantage. All right. Oh, man. I got to stop. I can't have a stroke this early in the morning. Ooh, that urgent care ain't open. Okay. Let's say, okay, well, it's because we done had an off week. Well, they had an off week last week, too. And what happened the week before the off week? So, Texas A&M almost beat Alabama. Almost beat them in Tuscaloosa. Now, I'm going to tell you, Alabama, this year's Alabama team, they're good, above average. I don't think they're better than Clemson, personally, myself. Some people might disagree. Their quarterback's good. Their running back's good, but they ain't got no damn pieces around them. Their defense is trash, bro. It's trash. And Texas A&M, around with them. That's why you can't predict nothing in college football. I mean, they lost to App State, but then hell, I mean, they almost beat Alabama. And then, I mean, Texas A&M crying. Jimbo Fisher's crying because they got shitted on the last play. Well, you know what, guys? They 60-something other plays you could have done something with probably. And you probably could have done something else to win that ball game, but you didn't do it. But the fact is, they went into Tuscaloosa, and they almost pulled it out. They almost pulled off a huge upset. It was big-time underdogs down there. So they deflated a little bit, right? Well, it probably would have been best for the Coots to play them last week, them not had an off week. But it don't matter, I don't think. So what did the Coots do the week before? Well, the Coots was on the road, played Kentucky. Kentucky didn't have their starting quarterback, Will Levis. All right, so and now people saying he's a top 5 NFL pick. I don't know about that. I think DJ is head and shoulders above this clown, but that's what they say. And anyway, they didn't have their starting quarterback, Will Levis, and they didn't play smart. They in the first half, Coots. In the first half, Coots recovered a fumble on the first play of the game. The Coots recovered a fumble inside Kentucky's 15-yard line, I think it was. Might have been inside their 20. I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to it. It was Coots. And they scored. Then Coots turned around a little while later. Beamer ball, baby, Beamer ball. And they blocked the punt. That's all the Coots can crow about is blocking punt. They blocked the punt, and they had the ball inside Kentucky's 20-yard line again. What'd they do there? Mr. Rattlecakes, the savior, the best thing since sliced bread, going to be the best quarterback since Connor Shaw showed up here. He's going to put everybody else to shame. He's going to rewrite the South Carolina Coot record books. Those interceptions. Right on cue. So you get a fumble inside the 20-yard line, and you block a punt inside the 20-yard line, and you come away with 7 points. That's great, Coots. That's great. What a victory. You really know how to capitalize on shit. And then you go in halftime tied at 7. Chris Rodriguez, the running back for Kentucky, who had only played in one game all damn year, somebody, you couldn't stop him. Y'all couldn't stop this guy if he had 2 broke legs, 2 broke feet, 2 broke hands, and his eye was messed up. As long as he could still sit in a wheelchair and it had a button on it, he could push with his fingers like this, and they gave him give him the damn ball, he could probably still get 4.5, 5 yards every time he pushed that button on that wheelchair. Sorry, David. But in the second half, it was like, they stopped giving it to him. They just stopped giving it to him. I don't think he was hurt. I don't think he was drunk. He likes to get drunk. We know that. I don't think he was drunk. I think they just decided we're going to let this quarterback throw it around a little bit. And this boy, he couldn't hit the toilet with a turd. He was awful. And Coots was able to put some pressure on him because, he's sitting back here running around. He can't find no receiver. He had open receivers because the Coots secondary is trash. But, he just couldn't get the ball to him because, like I said, he's scared to throw it. He couldn't hit the toilet with a poop turd. So they lost. And that's what Coots are basing this line, saying we're going to beat Texas A&M at home and everything because we beat a handicapped Kentucky team and because we're playing at night. That's just dumb. That don't make any sense. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Y'all going to come out on first drive of the game. Texas A&M is going to run the ball down y'all's throats. They're going to push that taffy-ass defensive line around all over the place. They're going to open up holes bigger than I don't know what, all outside, I reckon. And it's going to be 7-0. Coots going to get the ball back. They're going to start moving it a little bit. They're going to start pumping that sandstorm and everything because they're going to start moving the ball a little bit. And the Rattlecake's going to throw interception because Texas A&M defense is pretty good. They're going to get after you. They might sack Rattlecakes before that even happens, and he might fumble. They're going to go up at least 14-0, 10-0, something like that. By halftime, I expect to see something like 20-7, maybe Texas A&M. I think maybe Rattlecakes might get something going. And you know, that low running back y'all got, that low Marshawn Lloyd, Carolina Jackpot likes to tell you he's the best running back in the state. He likes to give me a hard time. He don't like Will Shipley at Clemson for some reason. I think it's because Will Shipley's just better than any. Will Shipley, half of Will Shipley. If we took Will Shipley and broke him in half, like they did that baby in the Bible, half of Will Shipley. You remember that story, don't you? It's in the Bible where they couldn't decide who was going to get the baby. So they divided it in half, and each one took a half of the baby. Half of Will Shipley is better than probably 2 or 3 of any offensive skill player on the Coots. Well, they call them skill players. They're not really skill players when they're on the Coot roster because they don't have skills. But it's going to end up getting worse and worse than that. And Texas A&M going to end up winning this game. They're going to end up winning this game about 40-something to 20-something. Maybe 40-something to high teens. They're going to beat y'all by at least 24. They're going to beat y'all by at least 24. Y'all, I don't know why Las Vegas sometimes it seems like they show the Coots a little bit more love than what they really do. But y'all ain't proved to nobody that y'all have got a good offensive line. Y'all ain't proved to nobody you got a good defensive line. And that's where the games is won and lost. It's on the line of scrimmage. And until y'all can show somebody that y'all got something going on there, instead of a running back who can, he can break loose and hurdle people against Charlotte and hurdle people against South Carolina State and Carolina Jackpot. We jump up down and wave his little towel around and shit like this guy's going to be, like we got the next Eric Dickerson on our hands or something. It ain't happening, Hoss. Y'all going to lose this game by at least 3 scores a day, and then we're going to be doing the same old thing again, crying about the offense. We're going to be crying about Marcus Satterfield. We're going to be crying about Shane Beamer and question him. We're going to be crying about injury, cry about this, cry about that. And really, I mean, there's nothing to cry about because it's South Carolina. It's the game Coots, and y'all suck. Texas A&M not only covers the spread tonight, they win big. That answer your question? I figured so. I'll see y'all later, baby. Go Tigers!